In this short video today, what I wanted to do was go through the fundamentals in understanding how to establish short, medium, and long-term goals. Hello and welcome. My name is Rob Dianovich from Education Without Borders. And if you're watching this video today, it means that you've downloaded the Student Planner template. So congratulations. What I'd like to do now is share the document with you and go through the template. In the template, what you can see is the front cover. So here we are, the Student Planner. And here is also a link to our website if you want any further information about other matters. But let's go to the goal setting section. So as you can see here, we have short-term goals, the next 12 months, medium-term goals, the next 2 years, and long-term goals, the next 3 years plus. From the previous videos, what we did was we spoke about the importance of setting these short, medium, and long-term goals. It's a way of being able to keep us on track and give us a big picture of what it is that we are trying to achieve in the long term. So let's say, for example, a short-term goal could be something in reference to the actual studies that you're undertaking. So it could be to complete, for example, to complete 3 units by the end of the year, right? And so every time you look at this, this gives you an idea of what it is that you're trying to achieve. So, for example, if your course maybe runs for more than 12 months, your medium-term goal could be to successfully complete my diploma, for example, and the year for that could be let's say 2023. Our long-term goal could be something along the lines of for example, becoming a permanent resident in Australia, right? And then that could be by, for example, 2025. And as you keep populating this, it'll become clearer and clearer what are the specific goals that are important to you that you're trying to achieve. So in order, for example, to achieve permanent residency, for example, you may need to show that you've had a job for a period of time. So maybe one of your tasks here is to gain in full-time part-time, sorry, not full-time because you're an international student, gain part-time employment, right? So, and that could be in a shorter period of time. So this could be maybe within the first 3 weeks of you maybe being in Australia. Now, in saying that, in order to get to permanent residency, something you may need to do is when you complete your diploma, you may be given the opportunity to maybe go on to a what we call a graduate visa. So you may need to gain full-time employment in your field of study. So that means, for example, if you're maybe studying business or studying commercial cookery or studying maybe automotive, you're showing that you're working in either a business field, or you might be working for a fine dining restaurant as a commercial cook, or you might be finding that you're working as a mechanic at a local garage. But you need to show that you're planning that out, that you're looking to make sure that you're covering that. And this could be by the end of 2024. And so it helps you to populate the important things as you go along. As you can see from the examples, what I'm doing is I'm using an acronym called S.M.A.R.T. And what this stands for is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. So that's what I'm using when I'm providing the examples to work out what do I think is a specific goal that I need to achieve. So this helps me with those examples that I use for the short, medium, and long-term goals. Is it measurable? How will I know when it is accomplished? So that's really important. So that's why you saw that I added some date ranges there to give me something to use to identify, have I achieved that specific goal or not? The achievable, A, is how can the goal be accomplished? So how am I going to do this? What am I going to, what tools am I going to need to get to this? Is it going to be realistic? Does this seem worthwhile? So providing dates where, for example, I'm going to get a job within 2 days of coming to Australia. Now, that might not be realistic. So I need to reevaluate that and say to myself, well, what do I feel is a realistic goal that I'm going to achieve? And time bound. So when can I accomplish this goal? Always very important to provide an end date to any goal that you have. Without this end date, you're not going to be able to measure whether you've achieved that particular goal or not. You're not going to know if you've achieved it. You're not going to know if it's realistic or not. So by putting a time frame on your goal, it gives you that sense of urgency to make sure that you complete that goal within that required time. Or sometimes you might need to make adjustments to be able to get to that point as well. You know, sometimes there's unexpected things that pop up in life. It's a good way to help you to plan, and it's a good way of you being able to see the big picture of what it is that you're trying to get to. So, for example, sometimes, I find that during winter, I am at my lowest. So I like to make sure that I can visualize and see my goals. And that tends to help me to get through those colder months and things like that. I tend to think more about my family, home, those kind of things. And by having some kind of a plan in place, you can see how you're going, where you're at. You can celebrate your wins. And the important point here is it helps to keep me motivated and laser focused on achieving my goals. So what I do is when I set these goals, I treat them as a task or a little mini project for each step of the way, which enables me to break those down into more details and be able to come up with the plans in how I'm going to achieve those particular goals. So goals are all about creating habits which help you to achieve those goals in a successful manner. It's not an exact science, but sometimes what I see that people do is they might start with the end goal in mind. So the big stuff, they might start with the big stuff. And if you're looking at it from a strategic management point of view, in business, companies do this. They start with the big picture first, the big stuff, the long-term goals, and then they work their way backwards. So the medium-term goals is what are the tactical goals that you're trying to achieve, breaking that down now into smaller chunks, and what are your short-term goals. So this is like your operational goals in business, your day-to-day goals. What are you trying to achieve? And you can work your way backwards that way as well, and that helps you with your planning. As Benjamin Franklin once said, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that is true. In a lot of situations, I've been in that situation where it's really important to spend some time, maybe it could be an hour, 2 hours, even 3 hours, just to really plan out what you're going to achieve over this period of time. And you'll be surprised in how much helpful this is going to be for you. So I hope that this video was helpful to you. and I wish you all the best for the future.